It's mid-October 2021 and we're looking at my salt farm. This has been a very dry year. In fact, as per reports, this year Manipur has received around 50% of its average annual rainfall. And now it's a fag end of the rainy season. The seasonal crops have completed their life cycle. On top there, where the fence is, there's a road, and from there the slope comes down. Here we have the contour hedgerows of these nitrogen fixing plants, which are Tephrosia candida. Here is one row, and on top there, behind that mango tree, is another row. And in between, I have put these bamboo across the slope just to make small sort of terraces. As you can see, they're already getting leveled off. I've not done any cutting of soil. I just placed the bamboo across the slope. And then we planted these Oct-Dec' millet. A month ago, we also put some manure, that is compost made from goat manure. Just taking you through the farm in between these hedgerows. Oct-Dec' millet, and there is a lychee plant around 3 years old. There is a gooseberry. So here is a small vegetable garden. It's growing some tomatoes, some ladyfinger and beans, cowpea. So instead of making terraces by cutting the soil, I've just used some bamboo. I had done mulching with the trimmings of nitrogen fixing plant, but that's almost decomposed now, so I'm going to use some fresh clippings today. So this mulch, apart from releasing the nutrients in the leaves, especially nitrogen when it decomposes, it also provides food for the earthworms and other soil organisms, which make this soil a living thing. These are beans, flowering now, beginning of December 2021. Pink flowers, and here you can see the flat beans. Here is another lychee tree. It's been pruned in the open style, like a wine glass. That is to allow enough sunlight and air to enter the center of the tree. Here the hedgerows have been recently pruned and the leaves have been applied as a mulch. Other vegetation here is some tapioca. This is mainly to feed the goats. They love the leaves. It is quite high in protein. And there you have this winged bean. We are even higher up now, near the ridge. This was bamboo along with some local trees which we have cleared, or rather in the process of clearing. And here we have these hedgerows, and we have planted some beans and millet. We are a bit lower down now. Slope is pretty steep here. There is the winged bean. This is a banana stem. Mature banana tree had been cut down after fruiting. And by just placing this across the slope, it becomes a barrier for soil and water conservation. In fact, I've been using banana quite extensively for soil and water conservation. some good bananas. This musanda plant is flowering now. And there down you have the goat shed. Let's just walk down to the goat shed. Here we have some sugarcane and rice bean and mulberry and pineapple and some other stuff. Here is our goat area. We've made this little yard for them to roam around in the daytime, and in the night time they are in there. There is Mr. Goat, our buck. He's a little over a year old now, doing quite well. Black Bengal breed, which is suitable for this area. And here is a female. All the feed for these goats is grown on the farm. There's another female. All have been born here, all three of them. This is the underside of the goat shed, where the droppings collect, which is the real black gold for a natural farm. And the chickens also like to scratch around here. And this is a compost pit. We have 3 of them, since each takes 4 months to mature, so 3 it takes care of the whole year. There's a nice white pumpkin here. Make a tasty curry one day. So here's all the ground cover. There's some turmeric. Actually it's left over from last year. That's basically for a windbreak. As you can see on top, there's a bamboo windbreak just below the house. We get some very strong storms right through the early part of the rainy season. And actually that took off my roof in 2019 when the house was still under construction. So we put up that windbreak, and now we are planting all these trees as a sort of a live windbreak. All this is totally rain fed, even though we have quite a long dry season, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. But because of these hedgerows and all these soil and water conservation measures, the diversity of vegetation, everything is doing well, survived the dry season nicely. There was enough food for the goats, enough organic matter in the soil for all the flora and fauna. We had to cut down some of the native trees here to clear land for the farm. But instead of killing the trees off totally, we have cut them at this height, 4 to 5 feet above the ground. And especially the trees which, provide fodder for the goats, they sprout again, and we keep pruning them to feed the goats. So that way we have the tree and its benefits of its root system. This is a papaya tree. It's a male. Lovely flowers, have a nice soft fragrance. And around here there is the fruiting one, and some more papayas around. Now all this is actually growing on the grey water coming from our kitchen sink. Here is a pumpkin creeper. Harvesting the Job steer. Winnowing the harvested job steer. This is rice bean. This is our little conservatory, shade net house or greenhouse, whatever you would like to call it. This is 24th November 2021. Let's take a look at the conservatory. That's a new tomato plant behind there. And here's the brinjals, aubergine. Here are the tomatoes, still going strong. And there is a ridge gourd creeper, ladyfinger. This is a Naga dhania. It's slightly different from the one we get in mainland India. Prune these eggplant because there's just a limit to how much vegetation and fruit a container can handle. These are seedlings of capsicum, red, yellow, green, and I've transplanted here. And here is sweet pea with capsicum behind. Here is sweet pea again. It's creeping up this. Our indigenous poultry. Mother with her chicks. The traditional Naga chicken coop. The birds are heading home now. Well, it's sunset now, and there's a good view of the valley of the Jiri River as it flows down to the plains of Assam. Those mountains you see on the other side in the distance, that actually is Assam. So we are on the border between Manipur and Assam, and the river Jiri down there in the valley is a dividing line.